Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of The Legend of Heroes Trails into Reverie running on PlayStation 5. The door is locked. The door is locked, really? On second thought, we can visit later. We can visit the sanatorium. I didn't realize they had a sanatorium. Okay. Thank you so much for saving my son and the other children earlier. Your friend came by earlier and carried a lot of heavy medical supplies into the clinic, too. It makes me wonder if he has experience working in healthcare. He seems to know exactly what supplies we needed. It was a blessing. Really, you've all been such tremendous help since you arrived. So, that's what Lecter's been up to. He seems to have been caught off guard as about what's happening in Crosspell as the rest of us. I think we can trust him for now.
Crazy as times are, this place always manages to put my mind at ease.
I know what you mean. Especially so, now that I know you're safe.
Why don't we take a look around?
I thought life was finally going to begin calming down after I returned from the war half a year ago. I can't believe I've seen Crosspell be occupied for a second time. I wonder if we're ever going to escape from the Empire's shadow.
You're all right, Risha. First I was separated from Daddy, and then you disappeared. I was worried sick about you.
I'm sorry for worrying you, San-san. I'm so relieved to see you're all right, too.
Risha, don't ever leave me like that again. Because
as long as you're here, I feel like I can overcome anything. I know things may seem scary now, but we can pull this. Oh, okay. I thought she wasn't speaking.
You're right.
Well, this is a heartwarming sight. Oh, the SSS. Does this mean you're going to be leaving again? We don't have a plan set in stone yet, but most likely yes. I still don't know whether Ilya and Sully are alright. I'll do whatever I must so that we can perform together again. I thought you might say that. I'm sorry, San-san. I know it must feel like we're ripping your best friend from you after you only just got her back. But there are people who need Risha's help, us included. We need her to help us if we're going to secure Crosspell's future and freedom. I know it won't be easy, but we're asking you to have faith in us. We promise we'll take good care of Risha and give her all the support we possibly can. I'm sorry for putting you through so much. I really am. I promise I'll come back safe and sound. Safe as soon as I can. And when I do, I'll bring everyone from Long Lao back with me. Okay, but please be careful. I'm going to hold you all to that. You'd better look after her. We will. I should be the one looking after her. What's wrong, Risha? Were you going to say something? Oh, no, it's nothing. Was that my imagination? Yeah, is San, like a half demon or something? Hey there, Ellie, how are you feeling? Hello, Gofan. I suppose I'm hanging in. I'm more concerned about the evacuees. How are they doing? It's hard to say, really. The people who came from the city are feeling more uneasy than any of us. I'm happy to open up all of our rooms, but we only have so many. It isn't ideal for them to all have to share. That's very true. I'm sorry for the burden we've undoubtedly placed on you. You got nothing to apologize for, Ellie. You did the right thing. I'll do what I can to keep them comfortable, like making them snacks in my spare time. It's not much, but it's something. It's easy to overlook how stressful this situation must be for the evacuees as well. We need to resolve this as soon as possible. You got a baby. My sister and I were separated from our parents during the evacuation. Neither of us have been to Amorica Village before, but I'm going to do my best to look after her. I can't mess this up. Well, I mean, okay, that's nice, I guess. We can fish here. We should go see the mayor. This is where that noble was all holed up last time. Well, look what the cat dragged in. You young folk of the village have been keeping me up to date. That includes, of course, everything that happened in the city. Yeah, you folks have had it rough. We're sorry for worrying you, Chief Tolta. I owe you so much for taking in my grandfather and the refugees. As his secretary, please allow me to express my deepest gratitude. Come now, lass. Now more than ever, we've got to extend a helping hand in times of need. It was the speaker who fought for us when those goons were trying to set up the convalescence home and military camp. Not to mention all the times the SSS has helped us in the past. We were only doing our job, sir. Spare me the humility. We've been in your debt ever since. Not once have you abandoned the weak. Nope, you fought for us all. That means a lot to me. You okay, Ellie? If you ever need a hand with anything at all, you just let us know and we'll come running. We may be a rinky-dink little farm village, but we've got your backs all the same. And we couldn't ask for better allies. Thank you so much. There's so many people supporting us, we really can't afford to let them down. I just know we're going to take Crossbell back and find Kia. Yes, I hope so. So, would you mind me asking what happened after the ceremony, Ellie? You haven't been yourself ever since we ran into you outside the village. I don't deserve to have the villagers speaking so kindly about me. Not after I turned my back on Kia. What?
Please forgive me, Lloyd. It's not Cecile's fault that Kia isn't here. Not at all. It's entirely mine for abandoning her.
Two days ago, just after the signing ceremony attack.
Ellie! There you are, Kia. I've been looking for you.
Yeah, Cecile should be somewhere nearby too.
Is Lloyd? He'll be fine. Risha's with him. Now come over.
Ah! Run, or you'll get caught up in it!
Ah! Kia! No. Kia! Kia! Where are you? Grandfather!
Ellie, go! I'll be fine. We'll see each other again soon, I promise. There are other people who need you.
Kia! I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I could have ran to her voice and grabbed her hand, but I chose not to. I don't deserve to call myself her guardian, or even be a part of the SSS.
So that's what happened. It's going to be all right, Ellie. Kia's just fine. I'm sure of it.
How can you be so sure?
We've done nothing but force hardship on her ever since we returned from the Azure Tree. While we fought for our home's freedom, she stood by us, and helped however she could, despite being separated from her best friend. And never once did she not have a smile on her face. No matter how hopeless things felt, Kia never stopped smiling for us. She never gave up. We were the ones who swore to protect her. And there she was again, being the one who protected and supported us. Just...
You're right. She always has. We were only able to continue smiling ourselves because her smile was giving us hope. I think that's exactly what she was trying to do the day we were separated, too.
I'll be fine! We'll see each other again soon, I promise! There are other people who need you!
I couldn't see her face, but I could feel how desperate she was to encourage me, even though she must have been so scared. How can one little girl be so positive?
I mean, we know how can she be so positive. She's an artificial being.
I'd like to say that's how she's always been. But we both know she's even stronger now than she was before. Kia isn't the same girl she was when we first met. She's no longer powerless to fight against a terrible fate that was decided without her consent. She's one of us now, in every sense of the word. Always with us, always fighting and smart. In just 2 years, she's grown and become the Kia Bannings we all know and love. That's why, if she says she'll be all right, and that we'll see each other again, then I know we can believe her. So there's only one thing left for us to do, right?
Yes, you're right again. I think deep down, part of me still thought of her as a helpless child that needs us to look after her. I should have known better. Should have seen that as we were getting stronger, she was right there with us, getting stronger too.
Well, I'm hardly in any position to judge when it comes to being overprotective of Kia. But the thing is, she put her trust in us. So it's only right we do the same thing when she asks, right?
You're on fire, huh? Right again. There's so much for us to do right now. The only way we're going to manage is by taking it one step at a time. He had told me she would be okay, and that there are other people who need me. I'm going to place my faith in that. So I'm sure we'll be reunited as long as we stay the course.
That's the spirit. It's only a matter of time before our paths cross again. So we don't want to disappoint her when we meet up. I'd say we owe it to her as her guardians, and as her friends.
This is so like you, Lloyd. Always encouraging me when I need it most. It's been this way for a long time, hasn't it? That night on the roof when I thought of leaving the SSS. Even when I decided to become grandfather's secretary during the occupation. Sometimes I wonder if the only reason I've been able to keep going these last few years is because I knew you were with me. Words can't express how grateful I truly am.
I'm flattered, but I don't think I did anything particularly special. I've known for a long time that your future was going to lead you to politics. And I know you'll make Crossbell and the world a better place. So I'm happy to do whatever I can to give you a push in the right direction if you need it.
Is that the only reason?
You have
I
huge
hope the
boobs
reason you
too.
look after me so much isn't just for the good of Crossbell.
I thought it would sound cooler if I put it that way. But you got me. I think my feelings are a little more straightforward than that. I want to do what I can to help you realize your dreams because you're Ellie. You're important to me. That's the real reason.
Thanks. I know I forced that out of you, so forgive me for being a little selfish. I think that's just what I needed to hear to begin looking forward again. You always make me feel like nothing is impossible, not even getting our home back.
Because nothing ever is. And I'll be right here to tell you as many times as it takes.
At the store again. Do we have to go back to the inn? Door is locked. Oh, that's interesting. I think we've seen everything there is to see in the village now. Is it time to visit the clinic? Yeah. There you two are. Hey, Risha, finished catching up with San-san? Yes, I just wanted to see how she's doing, so it didn't take long. You two are going to visit Speaker McDowell, correct? Would you mind if I joined you? Not at all, and thank you for keeping him in your thoughts. Lloyd, Ellie, and Risha entered the clinic as Ellie showed them the way to Speaker McDowell's room.
Grandfather, it's me.
Oh, Ellie, do come in.
Well, it's just more than her. Okay.
Oh,
It's good to see you again, Mr. Speaker. Are you sure it's all right for you to be sitting up?
I do still feel some lingering pain, but they told me just this much would be all right. I owe the goddess my deepest thanks. It brings me joy to see you are all doing well. Particularly you, Ellie. You're looking much brighter than you were before.
Well, It's true. I do feel much better now.
I think Lloyd has something to do with that. I figured Playboy here wasn't going to let her stay down in the dumps. You know I can hear you, right? In any case, I'm glad to hear you're doing better, Mr. Speaker. So am I, but please don't overexert yourself and try to rush your recovery. After everything that's happened in Crossbell, I don't know what I would do if something were to happen to you, too. She's right. Your condition is stable now, but the clinic is still short on staff and medicine. The best thing you can do for yourself and us is get plenty of bed rest. I will. Thank you for looking after me. I only wish there was something I could do in return. My powerlessness is simply galling. Please don't blame yourself, Grandfather. I cannot apologize enough to the people of Crossbell for my fellow reformer Ironblood's actions. I also wish to make clear that on no uncertain terms that the Imperial government abhors what happened and was not involved. The illegal occupation of Crossbell is the work of Rufus Albaria and his alone. Fear not, I was not under the impression that Erebonia was responsible for this. I can never imagine Emperor Eugent allowing his actions at this point. It wouldn't make sense for the Empire to stage an occupation of Crossbell now after willingly withdrawing its forces not long ago. Though that only begs the question of why Rufus is doing this. Or why he has collaborators and this Ebon Defense Force backing him. I can't speak for the two we didn't recognize, but I can't wrap my head around Dieter and Garcia helping him. Former CEO of the IBC and an ex-Jaeger turned mafia boss? That's quite the pair of convicts he's working with. Each of them has a personal history with the SSS. I've also crossed blows with the Killing Bear as Yin before. Come to think of it, he helped you when you were in prison, didn't he? He did, which is why I'm having such a hard time understanding his involvement. They both seem like they were ready to turn over a new leaf. Why do this, Dieter? About that, I had the chance to confront him briefly before I escaped the city. You did? I mean, I guess Maria's off with the Ouroboros, so...
Cecile,
You know, his daughter.
shot. Hold on. I need to stop the bleeding.
Theater, wait!
It's good to see you again, Ellie. You're looking well.
Why? Why are you doing this?
What possessed you to play a part in such foolishness? Did you not learn anything from your short-lived presidency?
I learned much, I assure you. That is why I am here today. Back then, my daughter played me like a fiddle. But this time, I am following my own convictions. And that is what led me to join the new unified government.
You hopeless fool.
Uncle Theodore, how can you truly believe that this is the right path? Surely you can see.
Looking at you and your friends now, you don't stand a chance against the Supreme Leader. I'd advise you take the time to reevaluate what justice means to you. You and your compatriots both.
Really? Is he still on about that? He's always had a raging hard-on for that kind of stuff. But I want to know you can still trust us, Mr. Speaker. We'll get to the bottom of their motivations and do what we have to take back Crossbell. We won't allow the independence we've worked so hard for to slip through our grasp like this. That's right. We're not going to give up on our dreams so easily. We can achieve anything when we all work together, the entire SSS. That's never changed. Thank you. It's reassuring to know we have your help. And I'm ready to lend my strength to the cause as well. I guess I can lend a hand too. Please take care of yourself, Lloyd. I don't want to have to treat you too. I will, Cecile. Promise. Let's go think on what our best course of action from here on will be. I'm ashamed there's nothing more I can do for them. They have shouldered what should have been my burden time and time again. Please don't blame yourself, Mr. Speaker. They're doing what any Crossbellian would do if they had the power. Although...
I know Lloyd and his friends can take care of themselves, but please, keep lighting their way, Guy.
I've been worried sick about my family in the city. I try my best to believe in them and focus on getting healthy. Last thing I want to do is make life harder for the clinic staff on call. Watch out! What the? Where did that come from? Are we under attack? I don't think so. Nor do I. Take a closer look. A letter? I've never seen anything like this script, though. Looks like an old school style of writing from the East. I'm guessing it's coded. Precisely. I've used this exact code in my work as Yin before. It says... The dancer and former Zero child are in our care. Come to the ancient battlefield to the southeast. We await you. Oh. A note written in Eastern code delivered on a kunai meant for Yin. Not hard to figure out who it's from. Or who they have in their custody. At least they're both alright. I told you Kia's strong, didn't I? Still, why would they be looking after Ilya as well? Is something wrong, Lloyd? Wait. You don't think this is a ransom note, most likely. They wouldn't have waited this long to contact us without a reason. They may be under their care, but that doesn't mean they're safe. No. The ancient battlefield is where the cult had its base, right? Can't say I have a good feeling about this, but you're not going to let that stop you, huh? Of course, as long as there's a chance Kia is there, no danger is too great. We'll do whatever it takes to keep her safe. I feel the same way. Not going is simply not an option, if that's where our loved ones are. That's right. Let's make sure we're fully prepared before we set off. Imagination, battlefield. Yeah, I mean, this perspective makes it hard for me to judge how to get there. Like, I could do it from memory. After a while, in playing the older games with their overhead viewpoint. What's the strange feeling? Choosing to continue will cause the main story to advance. It would also not be possible to go any further in Lloyd's story for a brief period. That's fine. Something wrong, Lloyd? Oh, sorry. I thought I sensed something strange, but it must have been my imagination. Wait, why does my pocket feel bulkier all of a sudden? A mirror? How peculiar looking. Where did you find it? I'm not sure. I've never seen it before. Strange as it sounds, it just appeared in my pocket out of nowhere. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that doesn't just happen. I'm guessing one of the village kids slipped it in your pocket as a prank? Maybe, but I doubt any of them could pull it off without me noticing. But if that's not it, then how did it get in my pocket? I can't even hazard a guess. I feel as though I have it for a reason. What? What's happening?
The conditions have been met. The road to where all may gather, to where destiny avails itself, just at the horizon, is open. Come, and sink into an illusion that mirrors the real world, and extols its endless possibilities.
Oh, are we back in the palace? I thought the palace collapsed. Yeah, this is like the last level from the last game. And trails into Azure. What just happened? What? Where are we? It's some sort of white garden. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, yes, we have. I'm getting the feeling there's more to this place than meets the eye, too. I mean, what kind of garden is surrounded by floating books? Yeah, I'm not sure where we are, but it doesn't feel like the world we know. How did we even get here to begin with? That's a good question. I can't fathom how we came here, either. In fact, I can't recall what I was doing before I ended up here at all. I feel as though we were all together the moment before we arrived, but beyond that, I haven't the slightest clue what happened. Well, this is just great. It's like something is blocking out my memories of before we got here. Actually, it's worse than that. It's not just my memories of right before. There's got to be a pretty good reason I was hanging around you guys, but it beats me what it is. At least we're all on the same page about that. I feel fuzzy too. I've been trying my best to recall what I was doing earlier today, but nothing's coming to mind. My best guess is we were working together for some reason, but I'm not sure why. Regardless of how we got here, I think it's safe to assume it's affected our memory somehow. Agreed, and standing around being confused isn't going to get any answers out of our questions. I think we should have a look around and see what we can find. So do I. If nothing else, we need to know whether this garden is safe. We may find clues as to how we arrived here as well. Sounds like we've got a plan then. Oh, and don't forget there are 2 floors to this place. Let's check them both out. That mirror is enormous. It looks remarkably similar to this one. You're right. It's as though the smaller mirror is a fragment of the larger one. Come to think of it, I'm surprised I can remember you even having that mirror. I do too, although I can't remember why it is or why Lloyd has it. Actually, did you work something out? I wouldn't go that far, unfortunately. I just remembered something that's common in Eastern folklore. It said mirrors with evil spirits in them can cause strange phenomena. It made me wonder if this mirror perhaps has some kind of strange power within it. And if that's how we were all brought here. That's pretty spooky, but just as good a guess as any at this point. This place is so weird that I wouldn't rule out anything as a possibility. Yep, I can feel something strange coming off it, but it's not doing anything for now, at least. Maybe it'll kick on or something if we do something else around here. Are you saying that it could have conditions? If that's the case, discerning those conditions could be our key to getting out of here. Let's continue to have a look around here then. Okay, so yeah, you had to go see it. A large sphere is floating in the air. What could this be? I'm not sure. I've never seen anything like it. The pattern on its surface kind of resembles one of this place's walls. It's being placed on the platform in the middle. It being placed on the platform in the middle makes it seem important too. It doesn't appear to be actively doing anything at the very least. Yet another mystery to be solved. Let's just push it to the back of our minds for now and remember that it's here. A strange barrier is blocking the way. It doesn't look like we'll be able to get through here. That's unfortunate. I'm curious to know where that elevator leads. It's not active right now, either way. No use worrying about it right now. Maybe we'll figure it out. Maybe we'll figure out how to get past this thing later. Okay, make sure there's not something there. Alright, so there's 2 floors. Let's explore the first floor first. Before we start jetting off into some stairs. And there's not much of the first floor, actually. A stone pillar, I think it's some kind of device. The mysteries continue to pile up. There's another over there as well. That probably holds some significance. Let's go check it out. This one's pretty similar to the other, but something's different about it. Yeah, it does seem that way. There must be some reason there are 2 of them. Yeah, it's safe to assume they're connected in some way. They're likely related to whatever this place's purpose is. If only we knew what the heck that is. Hopefully we'll figure something out if we keep looking around. Good old stone monument, huh? Now it's starting to come together. You figure something out? Yep, I'm 100% certain now that I don't have a clue what's going on. 3 years later and he hasn't changed a bit. We're right back to square one. It's a globe on some kind of pedestal. I can only assume that this is meant to be used for something as well. Something important by the look of it. No reaction at all. Yeah, whatever this thing is, it's not on at the moment. It looks like a relic or something, given the feel of this place. Hard to say for sure, though. Now that you mention it, this garden does resemble an ancient ruin of sorts. There's just one problem with that theory. Yeah, everything seems too new. There's not a speck of dust on this pedestal. It looks like it was made 5 minutes ago. Well, then why isn't it active? I can think of several possibilities, but they're all just conjecture. I guess we should keep looking around. Is this some kind of door? Yes, and it's unusually large. I wonder what it's doing here. It looks entirely out of place. You could say that about the books floating around, too. I've been thinking about those ever since we arrived. There's something about them that's very disturbing. No kidding. And what's stranger is I can't make out any of the titles on the books, no matter how hard I look, either. That's a mystery in itself. I know this is a garden, but part of me still wasn't expecting to find a tree. Yes, let alone one as splendid as this. It seems so out of place here. Looks like some kind of broadleaf tree. Never seen one with leaves, bark, or branches like this before, though. It's like something else entirely got reshaped into the form of a tree. That's an interesting perspective. Now I'm even more confused. Let's just agree that there's something unusual about it. Though that doesn't make it any different from the garden as a whole. We can't rule out it being placed here for more than just decoration. Unless my eyes are playing tricks on me, I'm pretty sure it's glowing too. The more we explore, the more mysterious this place seems to be. I suppose all we can do is keep poking around and hope everything becomes clear. The four investigated the area further, but weren't able to find anything useful. Eventually, they returned to the plaza where they first arrived to discuss their next move. I think we've seen all there is to see around here. Unfortunately, I still don't have a clue what this place is. Likewise, everything we've inspected has just left us with more questions. I just wish we still had our memories from before we came here. I imagine that would fill in several gaps for us. Still, isn't it? It isn't as though we haven't learned anything useful at all. For one, we know that this place was created by someone or something. True, and it's definitely weird enough to not seem real, but I think it's safe to assume it has some kind of purpose. Beyond that, we know it resembles some kind of garden or ruin, but it's anyone's guess as to what it was intended to be. There's also all those devices we came across, but none of them are active. So that leads us right back to square one. Let's agree that each detail is going to be useful information in trying to learn more. Above all, we need to learn why we're here.
A new story is in motion. Your fate is but one thread intermingled with many. Now, rise from your slumber.
Wise from your grave. Was that a memory? Are you alright, Lloyd? Something came to me just now. Do you guys remember hearing a voice just before coming here? A voice? Wait, now that you mention it, I do faintly remember hearing one, but there was something strange about it. Yeah, I kind of remember it too, but it's still pretty fuzzy. I wonder... It mentioned being just one thread among many. What does that mean? Or does that mean... That sound. I remember hearing it before we came here. You gotta be kidding. Ugh. Where are we? What the heck's going on? I don't recognize this place at all. Whoa. What just happened? Did we fall into some kind of teleportation spell? No, that wouldn't add up. Rean, you were called here too? Lloyd? Right, it feels like something or someone brought us here. But that's all I can remember. It's strange. I can't remember what we were doing at all a few moments ago. Me neither. What's really weird is it doesn't feel like I was in any sort of panic. I felt like everything was normal. What the hell's going on here? Were we even together before this? I could have sworn we had all split up. I can't say for sure, but that's what my instincts are telling me as well. That sounds remarkably similar to what we went through. I'm guessing we essentially experienced the same thing. The only difference is that they had split into two parties, but we were still called at the same time. I think the most logical thing to do now is swap all the info we have. Look how freaking bloated that crew is. Oh my god. So, you suddenly find yourself in possession of a strange mirror you'd never seen before and heard a voice. You were right. That's what happened to us, too. How did we experience the exact same thing so far apart? Your guess is as good as mine. Even us being unable to remember where we were before is the same. I would ordinarily refuse to believe such a bizarre sequence of events, but it's impossible to refute so much hard evidence. My top concern is understanding the why rather than the how. There must be a reason why we specifically were the ones brought here. I know what you mean. This is the last way I expect to see Lloyd and Ellie again. Yeah, I wasn't planning on a sudden reunion, but it's good to see you again. I'm sorry it's not under better circumstances, but it's good to see you again, Juna. Same here. Juna continues to be a social butterfly, even in the strangest of situations. Well, that just goes to show how genuine she is. That's entirely the real Juna. Still, if not a single one of us remembers where we were or what we were doing before we were called here, yeah, that's got to be by design. Something about this place blocks the recent memories of anyone who comes in here. What other examples can there be? But how can that be possible? Beats me, but let's face the facts. It's the only thing that makes sense. I agree, it's the only reasonable explanation. Regardless of how we got here, we have to accept that this place is very unusual. Easier said than done. No, he's right. Let's move past that and focus on the bigger picture. We must consider what we should do next. My first instinct is to search for an escape route so we can return back to wherever it is we were. But you all said you didn't have any luck during your investigation, yes? I'm afraid so. Hold up. What was that? Well, what do you know? It looks like Class 7 coming here may have been one of the conditions. Conditions? Oh yeah, you worked something out? Maybe, but I'm still only speculating. These mirrors we were given might just be fragments of a bigger whole after all. And if that's the case, well, I think we have a relatively good idea of the situation we're in now. Though I wouldn't mind getting a look around here for myself before we go any further. It might not help work out who or what is responsible for all this, but I'd like to at least familiarize myself with our surroundings. Good thinking. You said stuff's changed since you first wandered around, right? That's an excellent point. We'll come with. I want to see what's changed as well. It's like one of those fiber optic trees, right? You get at a gift shop. Check it out. The tree's glowing. Even the bark looks weird. We thought the same, but it wasn't giving off light like this when we were first here. It feels different somehow. It's as though the tree is springing with vitality now. It reminds me of something from a fairy tale. Oh, do tell. Spirit trees, they're said to have shining branches and leaves, and they're filled with mana that can heal the body and mind. Or at least that's what I recall reading about. Now that you mention it, you used to read all those kinds of things all the time, didn't you? I suppose it does look something like that. Great, just what we need. More magical bullshit. But what if it does have the same properties as the trees Elise described? Then it would help us out. Then it would help us out a lot. It's worth giving it a shot. I would say that was an accurate deduction. That's a relief. But we still don't know what it is. At least we know it can heal us. I've never seen anything like it in nature. Neither have I, but at least we have somewhere to return to if we're injured. Knock on wood, but yeah, you're right. This device is activated as well. It's a little foreboding. I can make out words glowing on it. The Millennial Trove, commodities in exchange for currency. What is that supposed to mean? Sounds like it's a vending machine, but I'm guessing it takes mirror somehow? That would be convenient. That it would. Who knows how long we could be here. Being able to resupply would be a boon. Alright, we found ourselves a shop. The Millennial Trove, was it? I hope its stock lives up to its name. You're all having a much easier time accepting this as reality than I am. It does take some getting used to. So, what about the device to the left? Does it serve a similar purpose? I would imagine so. The Blazing Forge, applied Septium principles. The description is a little vague, but do you think it's possible for us to modify our orbments here? That would be helpful, and yet... Yeah, this one is even more ominous looking than the other. Maybe it's because it confirms that there are dangers lying ahead of us. What's that sound again? I'm guessing we managed to satisfy another condition. I wonder what it could be.
Food process complete. Construction of the Reverie Garden administered space complete. Beginning construction of the Reverie Corridor.
Well, well, looks like the party is finally getting started. That voice sounds familiar, too. Indeed, I believe we are about to learn the reason we're here. There were a lot of interesting phrases in what little she said. Boot process, administered space, the Reverie Garden. Yes, and most notably, Reverie Corridor. I'd be lying if I said it didn't ring a bell. Let's make our way to the Central Plaza to get a better look at what's changed. That sphere from earlier is active now.
New temporal space forged. This world was constructed by the Black Mirror. Its function is to present trials, allowing you to cultivate the strength to overcome great distortions in your destiny.
The Black Mirror? I'm more concerned with what it means by trials. I'm guessing this thing governs the space we're in, meaning we were brought here to complete whatever these trials are.
Correct. This process is an emergency measure intended to correct the laws of causality. Your understanding may be incomplete due to forced limitations placed on your memories. The current sequence of events with Crossbell at its center has originated due to an impossible singularity. At this time, the chances of correcting this singularity are 0. It is for this reason that the Black Mirror has chosen to intervene.
Uh-huh. Is this thing even speaking our language? That confirms that our memories truly are being tampered with. No wonder we couldn't understand what was happening. I'm as lost as anyone else. From the sound of it, though, the Black Mirror is looking out for us. Yeah, and it mentioned something bad happening in Crossbell, too. A lot of what it said flew over my head, but if I understand the gist of it, it's saying that it'll help us fight against whatever's happening in the real world. Now that you mention it, that's how I interpreted it, and that's how I interpreted it as well. But how exactly is it going to achieve that? An excellent question, especially given that we're not permitted to remember everything that's happened on the outside.
Strength gained here has been approved for use outside of the Reverie Corridor, even if new memories have been denied. Challenging the True Reverie Corridor to better your strength is required. Only then will the possibility to defy destiny be within your grasp.
That clears up some of our suspicions, but there are still some things unanswered. True, but we confirmed something important. This place exists to make us stronger. It's up to us to determine how much strength to gain and whether we'll be strong enough to change whatever fate has in store for us. That simplifies things if you ask me. Indeed, we're left with only one option. Rise to the challenge for both ourselves and the homes we came from. And this has to be just as much to do with us judging by it being named the True Reverie Corridor. Agreed. I couldn't shake the feeling that this place was slightly familiar to me. Yeah, it was the last game. Still, we don't know what the true part signifies just yet. Oh yeah, Rean said the name rang a bell. Sure does. Brings back a lot of memories. Sounds like this version is here to pump us up and get us ripped. It's like our own secret training ground. It could prove rather useful. We all have people and things we want to protect on the outside. Yes, and we each know the kind of strength it takes to overcome the impossible. So let's work together and gain the strength we need.
It is for that reason I and the Reverie Garden exist. Access to the first stratum has been granted. May you seize the ability to overcome the impossible over the course of your trials.
Talk about hospitality. The way is finally open for us. Let's take this opportunity. Right. You may now challenge the Reverie Corridor's first stratum via the central elevator. Select which party members you wish to take with you. Lloyd and Rean are required for your initial exploration of the first stratum. Oh, this is interesting how we're doing this. I definitely need Rishia. Probably need Claire. Who has Tyr? She has Tyr. And she has Tyr. We'll go with the one that looks a little older. Party main queue. Access your party formations from the main story and inside the Reverie Corridor from this menu. Swap parties with L2. The items Mira and Sepith belong to Rean and Lloyd's parties have been consolidated. The contents of their notebooks have also been unified. From now on, any items or notebook data acquired by Rean or Lloyd will be accessible to the other party as well. Looks like everyone is taking the chance to get more familiar with this place. I should probably check to make sure we have everything we need before we begin challenging the Reverie Corridor. I never thought I'd hear that name again, but here we are. Then again, this place seems a lot different than before. Are they really one and the same? Either way, it's pointless to worry about that right now. I need to focus on what's right in front of me and what I can't control. We'll now begin exploring the Reverie Garden as Rean. I mean, it's interesting that he's the first. But that's fine. Let's get his perspective out of the way so we can play about, we can play with characters that we actually give a crap about. Alright, I'll stop it there. This is audap. You've been watching The Legend of Heroes, Trails into Reverie, running on PlayStation 5. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.